Okay, so here we are. We're doing a just quick walkthrough of the haunted house in the daylight here and with the light on and nothing running. So here's the entrance here. This is of Haunted House 2016. And come in here, and this is the portrait room. Lots and lots of portraits here. Usually we have these flames that are going. And then I've got a little flame light back here. Lots of portraits that are really fun because they change as you go by them. Down here we've got a little floating candelabra thing that changes. They move, and the light hits that, and it just sits there and moves, which is kind of cool. Up here we've got a picture that also is sound activated, and it starts going crazy, and the lights light up and starts moving on the wall. And then here is where we've got an actor, my son actually, who's back here, and he will pop out with a mask and then reclose that. So we get a couple good scares in the portrait room. This is new this year. Added this kind of cool doorway. So that's the portrait hallway. Now we go into the portrait room. Again, in here we've got more pictures that change. And another one over here. Kind of cool. And then right down here we've got a armored dude who's standing here with his axe. And we turn around this way. We've got more flames, more pictures that change, which are very fun. And then, of course, the moving portrait, which is right here, which is our TV. We've got that hanging from a joist here in our garage. So the TV is actually hanging. So that's kind of the back part. Now we're going to move forward here, back in this room. We go through here, leaving that area. We've got a stone wall, and right on the other side of that is the skeleton who kind of goes crazy and scares people and makes everybody freak out. It's always nice. Another projection here of like skeletons, different things that pop up. We've got a projector. I wonder if I can look through here and see. Nope. We've got a projector on the other side, and that projects different images on here. So I've got a nice little scare there. Then we turn to the left here, and this is the hallway with the glowing door frames, I guess. And this is all in black light. It's very cool. Kind of walk down here, and it has the illusion that each one gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and then you get to the last one. These three are actually all stuck on the last panel here of plastic. But it's a pretty cool illusion. If you look back here, you can just see it's just door frames made out of paper. And we turn left here. This was actually a great scare this year, and it was just sort of a throwaway room. I wasn't sure what to do with this room. Ended up putting a black light in here, and then added this little extra wall so I could hide somebody back in this area. And then had some masks, put a bunch of masks up here on the wall, and then the person who was hiding here was wearing a mask. So they'd come around, see the strobe light, see this guy hanging up here, see this guy over here. I've got door knocking sound effects that are going off, so it would freak people out, and then this person would slowly move or scare them and do something. So it was a really, really good scare. Also, I added this door that's tilting, rather than being straight up, it's tilting out. And so it just makes the whole room feel very, very claustrophobic, because you have to squeeze down here to go past this guy and then left into the spider room. So this year I had added a bunch of stuff. I added this background, which is pretty cool, and this wood background, and then I had a projection going up here on the wall of spiders coming out of a hole. And then down here we've got, of course, the good old jumping spider, who's probably still working here. Oh, there he goes. He's got batteries in here, so got a pad here on the floor that people would step on. And then I've got this. This is new this year, the spider crawling around on the portrait. Also very cool. And then the other big thing this year is Charlotte, who we've decided to add Nice big 6-foot spider hanging from the ceiling. She was very, very cool. A lot of people missed her the first night, so we actually added a sign on the floor that said "Don't look up," which is being covered up here. So people, of course, would come in and go, "Okay," and then they would slowly turn around, and we'd always hear this little scream from this gigantic spider with light-up eyes on the ceiling. So anyway, spiders in here, lots and lots of cobwebs. We've got hanging bodies, a head over here. Oh, and then finally this guy up here who's crawling up the wall right now, who goes off with sound. So that is the spider room. It was a huge success. I always got lots of good scares. Another little dude up there. So now we're going to go through and into this room, which is kind of like, I guess, a prison area. I don't know exactly what to call it, but it says "Enter if you dare." And this is another new guy I bought this year. Had a strobe light on him, and I built this jail cell. Basically just out of PVC pipe and some cardboard, and then bought some chains, and this guy is awesome. He's one of my favorites. Charlotte and this guy I think are my favorites. So I actually added a piece of this kind of bungee string on his arm and then hid that within the chain that goes up to the ceiling. So when he moves, which he's not going to now because he's not plugged in, his arm has got this great effect, like it's kind of floating. Other arm is also chained up, and he was awesome. People would step on that and it would scare the crap out of them. It was a great add-in. So love this guy. So that's the prison area. So then you exit this room and you come into this TV room here. You've got the TV itself. That's also batteries, and it's working. This is another new prop this year. Very cool. Freaked a lot of people out. With this whole room, we've got a book that moves by itself, with sound activated. Another book over here with sound activated. And those go off when the TV goes off, so it worked really well. Up here I've got just a flaming skull. I added this new backdrop this year. And there goes the witch. I added this new backdrop of books. Very cool. And then of course we got the telephone. Didn't have that on this year. I probably should have, but I think it's it wouldn't have worked anyway. And then another little candelabra thing there, and then of course our dude Mr. Bones hanging out here. And then I've got a flickering light in this light, and a fireplace over here, fireplace backdrop, and then down below added a fire effect, one of these flame circular projection lights aimed right here, so it gave this great glow right here. So then from there you would move around this way, past another little backdrop here. This was all enclosed. There's a ceiling that goes over. I guess I should shoot that. I have an entire ceiling this year that I added that goes over the entire haunt, so that's pretty cool. So usually there's a wall right here, and you turn this way, and we've got just this dude hanging down and a bunch of these cool lights that just gave this room a weird, crazy flicker effect. Really neat. And then my wife wanted to add a bunch of dead plants in here, so we did that just to have something else in the room. But got this guy in his cage, and then this guy who'll probably go off here if I'm too loud. So I'm not going to be too loud because he's noisy. We were going to add a little sign that said "Beware of the dolls," but we didn't have time for that, so I think we're going to do that next year. And as we turn left here, we go into the final room of the haunt, which is of course the doll room. And this was also a huge fun room this year that my wife was in charge of. It was all black light. My daughter was sitting here wearing a mask that she would lower and scare people. It was really fun. And then this is another new backdrop that we added this year of all of these blocks, and in the black light looked really cool. Also, my father made this cool little faux bassinet, I guess you want to call it, and we just put a bunch of dolls in, and we put this little thing on. And then the floating wagon, my wife did that. It's really fun. And then of course we've got Peekaboo Penny, also a huge scare this year, really fun. And just some more black and white things. And then over here on this wall it says, "Do you want to play?" It's been a little scratched off because of Halloween, but That was very, very fun. And then all of these dolls parts hanging from the ceiling. Very cool. Very, very fun. This was a great room. I always got a really big response. And I love Penny. She was a nice little ad this year. And then the last little room here, we just have a doll eating another doll in the black light and then a flickering light. So it was a cool little last little thing after the scare with Penny. And then you exit. And that is pretty much it. Really came out great this year. We had a lot of people go through, about the same as last year, probably a couple hundred people that went through. So that is it for now. We're gonna change it up and do something fun next year. Thanks for all for watching.